This one.
On the planet of the god of destruction, Beerus was sitting on a tree trunk thinking he wanted to invite Cheelai, a girl he met a while ago, to come to his planet. His pretext was to train Cheelai to become the Princess of Destruction. However, there was something deeper in his feelings, and Whis knew it. Whis said, Beerus-sama, do you really believe that Cheelai can become the Princess of Destruction? We know that this function does not exist, only gods of destruction and angels. Beerus replied, a little irritated, Whis, you know she has great potential. I just want to train her so she can reach her full power. Whis, with a knowing smile, asked, Beerus-sama, are you doing this because you're in love with Cheelai? Ha ha ha, don't lie to me. Embarrassed, Beerus quickly said, What? Of course not, Whis. I just want to train her, nothing more. Whis continued to smile, knowing the truth. So the angel accepted Beerus' request and left for planet Vampa to look for Cheelai. On the planet Vampa, when Whis arrived, he found Cheelai and Broly, the powerful Saiyan, together. Whis said, Cheelai, Beerus-sama asked you to come to the planet of destruction. He wishes to train you personally. Broly immediately became alert and said, I'm not letting Cheelai go alone. If she goes, I'll go with her. Whis shook his head gently and said, Sorry, Broly, but you can't go. Only Cheelai was invited. Cheelai, looking at Broly, said, It's okay, Broly. I'll be back soon. I promise. Broly said, Really promise? If that damn cat does anything wrong, I swear he'll be in trouble with me. Broly said angrily because he knew that in that situation he would have to obey the orders of a god of destruction, otherwise Beerus could destroy everything. Broly, still reluctant, slowly lowered his head. Whis then took Cheelai to Beerus' planet. On the planet of the god of destruction. When they arrived, Beerus was visibly nervous. He couldn't hide his anxiety, and when he saw Cheelai, he was even more embarrassed. Stuttering, Beerus said, Cheelai, I missed you so much. From the day I saw you for the first time, I realized that you have great potential. If you train with me, you can become the Princess of Destruction. Cheelai quickly responded, I don't like fighting. I hate fuss. Beerus, realizing that his initial strategy wasn't working, quickly thought of another approach. Beerus said, Cheelai, if you get stronger, you can protect Broly. Whis, watching the entire conversation, began to laugh discreetly. He knew exactly what was going on and was amused by the situation. Cheelai, upon hearing that she could get stronger to protect Broly, got all embarrassed. This made Beerus even more nervous. Cheelai said, If it means I can protect Broly, then I accept training with you, Beerus. Beerus was visibly happy. He knew that through training, he would get closer to Cheelai and maybe eventually get to kiss her, which was her true goal as he was in love with her. Days passed, and Cheelai began her training under Beerus' supervision. At first she was hesitant, but she soon realized that Beerus was truly committed to helping her get better. He taught her various combat techniques and skills that she never imagined she could learn. Beerus said, Cheelai, focus your energy, feel the strength within you, and release it in a controlled manner. Cheelai replied, I'm trying, Beerus, but it's hard. Beerus said, You can do it. I know you can. Just believe in yourself. Beerus said, encouraging her. Whis, always watching closely, giggled from time to time. He knew that Beerus was trying his best to impress Cheelai, and it amused him. Whis said, Beerus-sama, it looks like you're doing well as a teacher. Beerus, trying to maintain his composure, replied, Thanks, Whis. I'm just doing my best. Cheelai, increasingly confident, began to show signs of progress. She was becoming stronger and her skills were improving day by day, but more importantly, she was starting to feel more comfortable in Beerus' presence. One night, after an intense day of training, Beerus and Cheelai were sitting together, watching the stars. Beerus spoke softly, Cheelai, you're doing a great job. I'm very proud of you. Cheelai, smiling shyly, replied, Thank you, Beerus. I never thought I could get this strong. But why are you doing all this for me? Beerus hesitated for a moment, but finally said, Because I believe in you, Cheelai, and because I care about you. Cheelai, surprised by Beerus' sincerity, was silent for a moment. She never imagined that the god of destruction could have such feelings. Cheelai finally said, I care about you too, Beerus. The relationship between Beerus and Cheelai continued to grow. They spent more and more time together, and Beerus continued to train Cheelai with dedication. But behind all the training and words of encouragement, Beerus was waiting for the right moment to confess his true feelings. One day, after a particularly grueling workout, Beerus decided it was time to be honest. Beerus said, Cheelai, there's something I need to tell you. Cheelai replied, What's wrong, Beerus? Said the future Princess of Destruction, noticing the seriousness in Beerus' tone. Beerus took a deep breath and said, I I'm in love with you, Chilei. Since the day I met you, I can't stop thinking about you. Chilei was shocked. She never expected to hear that from Beerus. She knew there was something special between them, but she never imagined Beerus's feelings were so deep. Chilei, still trying to process the confession, said, Beerus, I don't know what to say. I care about you so much, but this is also unexpected. Beerus, visibly nervous, waited for Chilei's response. Finally, Chilei said, I need some time to think. This is a lot to process. Beerus, embarrassed, understanding the situation, he knew he had dropped an emotional bomb on her and that she needed time to think. The following days were full of tension. Chilei continued her training, but there was a new layer of complexity in her relationship with Beerus. Whis, noticing the change, decided to intervene. Whis said, Chilei, can I talk to you for a moment? Chilei, curious, replied, Of course, Whis, what is it? Whis said, I know Beerus' feelings came as a surprise to you, but know that he's sincere. He's never been good at expressing emotions, but with you he's found something special. She told the angel with a gentle smile. Chilei, still confused, said, I don't know what to do, Whis. I like Beerus, but this is all so new to me. Whis replied, Give it time, Chilei. True feelings always find a way. As time passed, Chilei began to realize that her own feelings for Beerus were growing. She appreciated the way Beerus cared about her and how he was willing to do anything to help her grow. One night after a particularly hard workout, Chilei decided she was ready to give Beerus an answer. Chilei said, Beerus, I thought a lot about what you said and I think I'm in love with you too. Beerus was surprised and happy. He never expected to hear those words from Chilei. Beerus, smiling, said, Chilei, you don't know how happy this makes me. I promise I'll do anything to make you happy. Chilei, smiling shyly, replied, I know, Beerus, and I'm ready to see where it takes us. From that moment on, the relationship between Beerus and Chilei blossomed. They continued to train together, but now there was a new depth to their connection. Beerus finally got what he wanted, the chance to be closer to Chilei and perhaps one day kiss her. Whis said, I can't wait for these two to kiss. It's going to be really funny, ha ha ha, said the angel, smiling, observing everything from afar. On the planet of the god of destruction, Whis, watching the new romance blossom between Beerus and Chilei, knew he would need to address some serious business. He approached the two and said, Beerus-sama, Chilei, there is something important we need to discuss. If we truly wish for Chilei to become the Princess of Destruction, we need to talk to Zeno-sama. There is no such role, and if we do so without permission, Zeno-sama might not only punish you two, but cause big problems in the universe. Beerus said, I understand, Whis. We need to do this the right way, said the god of destruction, visibly worried. Whis said, let me go to Zeno-sama's palace alone to deal with this matter. In the meantime, Beerus, you and Chilei should go to Earth and tell him the news about your relationship. Beerus, holding Chilei's hand, agreed. Okay, Whis, let's go to Earth. On planet Earth. When Beerus and Chilei arrived on Earth, they found Goku, Vegeta, and to Chilei's surprise, Broly, who was training with them. Chilei felt nervous seeing Broly there, especially knowing that she needed to tell him about her new relationship with Beerus. Broly, upon seeing Chilei and Beerus, was distracted for a moment and received a punch from Goku, who threw him towards Chilei. Broly unintentionally hit Chilei, causing her to flinch and bump into Beerus. At that moment, the two unexpectedly ended up kissing. Goku said, Wow, they're kissing like Mai and Trunks did years ago, said the Saiyan with his eyes wide, making Beerus and Chilei even more embarrassed. Vegeta, irritated, said, Shut up, Kakaroto! Broly said, What was that? You damn purple cat! What do you think you're doing? Said the legendary Saiyan, visibly irritated. Meanwhile, a portal appeared in the sky, and Whis emerged from it with a smile on his face. Whis said, I have news about Chilei's new role as the Princess of Destruction. Zeno-sama has agreed to create this unique position as long as she commits to following rigorous training and respecting the responsibilities that come with the title. Beerus said, So, it looks like you really can become my Princess of Destruction, Chilei. Beerus said, still embarrassed by the unexpected kiss. Chilei, still a little embarrassed, replied, If it means I can protect the people I love and become stronger, then I'm ready. Goku, always excited, said, This is amazing! I can't wait to see how you do, Chilei. Vegeta more seriously said, If you're going to take on this position, you better train hard. We can't have a Princess of Destruction who isn't up to par. Whis, pleased with almost everyone's acceptance, said, Chilei, your training will begin immediately. But for now, enjoy this time with your friends. Broly looked at Chilei, her expression showing the confusion and sadness he felt. He finally asked, Chilei, you promised you'd be back soon. What happened? Why did it take you so long to get back? Chilei, feeling Broly's pain, responded, I know, Broly. I'm sorry it took me so long. When I arrived on Beerus' planet, I discovered that there was much more to it than just training. A new feeling grew within me, and I ended up falling in love with Beerus. Broly was silent for a moment, processing Cheelai's words. He never expected to hear this, and the pain of knowing he had lost to Beerus was hard to bear. Broly, with sadness in his voice, said, "I've always liked you, Cheelai, but I never had the courage to say it. Now I've lost you to that damn purple cat." Cheelai, her eyes full of tears, replied, "Broly, you will always be important to me. I never wanted to hurt you, but please accept this. It's very important to me. Beerus taught me a lot, and I truly fell in love by him." Broly said, "If that's what makes you happy, Cheelai, then I'll take it. Even if it hurts, I want you to be happy," said the legendary Saiyan reluctantly and still feeling the pain of loss. Cheelai, touched by Broly's acceptance, hugged him. "Thank you, Broly. I will always be here for you. And now with my new role as Princess of Destruction, I will be able to protect everyone I love, including you." Broly, still sad but accepting of the situation, replied, "I just want you to be happy, Cheelai. If being with Beerus is what you want, then I'll support you." Whis, watching the conversation from afar, felt a mixture of relief and worry. He knew that these complicated feelings could influence the dynamic between them, but he also knew that Broly's acceptance was an important step. Whis walked over and said, "Cheelai, Broly, it's important that we all work together and support each other. Cheelai, your new role as Princess of Destruction won't be easy, but I'm sure you'll be up to the challenge." Cheelai, determined, replied, "I will do my best, Whis. I want to protect everyone I love and be worthy of this new responsibility." Beerus, who had been watching the conversation closely, finally came over and said, "Broly, I know this is hard for you, but I promise that I will take good care of Cheelai and that I will do everything I can to protect everyone she loves." Broly said, "I trust you, Beerus. Just don't hurt Cheelai," said the Saiyan, looking directly into Beerus' eyes. Beerus, with a serious expression, replied, "You have my word, Broly." With this new understanding and acceptance, the group continued to prepare for future challenges. Cheelai, now the Princess of Destruction, dedicated herself to her training with Beerus and Whis, always with the goal of protecting those she loved. Broly, despite the initial pain, found new purpose in his training with Goku and Vegeta, becoming stronger and learning to control his power more effectively. He knew that even though he lost Cheelai to Beerus, he still had an important role to play and people who cared about him. Over time, Broly found peace with the new dynamic and even developed a friendship with Beerus based on mutual respect and a desire to protect Cheelai and the universe. Together, everyone faced new challenges and adventures, learning that even in the most difficult situations, understanding and mutual support are essential. Cheelai, in her new position, showed herself to be a wise and courageous leader, earning the respect of not only Beerus and Whis, but everyone who knew her. And so, the story of Beerus, Cheelai, Broly, and all the Z Warriors continued, showing that regardless of adversity, love, friendship, and willpower will always prevail. Sometime later, on the planet of the God of Destruction, as the days passed, Cheelai and Beerus continued to grow closer, strengthening their connection. After a day of intense training, they found a moment of tranquility, away from interruptions and curious eyes. Cheelai and Beerus were sitting by a crystal-clear lake on Beerus' planet, admiring the reflection of the stars in the water. Beerus spoke softly, "Cheelai, you have brought new light into my life. In all the thousands of years I have lived, I have never felt so happy." Cheelai, smiling, looked at Beerus tenderly and said, "Beerus, you changed my life too. I never thought I would encounter something like this." They came closer, their hearts beating together as one. Without interruptions this time, they finally kissed with tenderness and passion. Beerus, still holding Cheelai, said, "I never knew I could feel something like this. You made me realize what's really important." Cheelai, her eyes shining, replied, "And you gave me the strength to protect those I love. Together, we can face anything." At that moment, Beerus and Cheelai knew they were destined to be together. No matter what the future held, they would face it side by side. And so, with love as their guide, they continued their journey, ready for any challenge that came their way. Whis said, "I waited so long for this moment. How beautiful. I loved seeing this scene." "Ha ha ha ha," said the angel, extremely happy. Guys, and this is how we end our story. What did you think of Beerus and Cheelai together? A beautiful love story, isn't it? Do you want them to appear more often here on the channel? Leave her a like, her comment, and of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos like this. Bye!